Today I will be telling you a very special story from Langkawi called The Tale of Mat Chinchang and Mat Raya. Come join me. Hi everyone, I'm Heidi, a Malaysian author. Welcome back. Today I will be telling you the second in this trilogy of Langkawi tales, and that is the tale of Mat Chinchang and Mat Raya. I'm excited to tell you the story, so sit back, relax, chill, pretend you're on holiday. I hope you'll enjoy the story. This is the story of how two large mountains on Langkawi Island, Bukit Mat Chinchang and Bukit Raya, came into existence. A long time ago, giants ruled the island of Langkawi, and one of the giants was called Mat Chinchang, and his friend was called Mat Raya. They were two good friends. The daughter of Mat Chinchang was engaged to the son of Mat Raya, and they planned a huge wedding feast. Unfortunately, at the wedding, Mat Raya's son, the bridegroom, was caught flirting with another girl, which is not something you should do at your own wedding. And this caused a huge fight between the two families. They fought, they drew swords, people were injured. A huge pot of gravy or Kuah fell, and the place where it fell became known as the town of Kuah. The village where the gravy seeped in is now called Kisap, and Kisap means to seep. The place where a pot was broken is now called Belanga Pecah, or broken pot. A cauldron of hot water turned over and spilt, and the place where this happened became Kampung Ayer Hangat. Now, the two giants, Mat Chinchang and Mat Raya, refused to back down, and they fought for many days until the giant, Sang Kelambai, just had enough of it. So he turned Mat Raya into a mountain, and he put Mat Chinchang right next to him as a mountain as well. And today, these two mountains are two of the tallest peaks on Langkawi Island. There are several versions of this story, and in some of the versions we find out more about the names of other places around Langkawi. And in one of the versions there is a friend, their friend Mat Sawar. He also tried to plead with the two friends to stop fighting, and he was turned into a smaller hill, Bukit Sawar, which is now wedged in between Gunung Raya and Gunung Mat Chinchang. And that is the story of how the two tallest peaks in Langkawi came into existence. So that was the story of Mat Raya and Mat Chinchang. Now in this video, we are going to talk about this story in terms of geology. There will be a lot of geology in this video. I've tried to keep it as simple as possible, but it's all very interesting. You're gonna love it. Last week I told you the story of Masuri. Link down below if you want to have a look. And as I mentioned at the beginning of that video, Langkawi is rich in folk tales and fairy tales, and one of the reasons for this is due to its geological landscape. Langkawi's geological landscape is made up of 5 key rock formations known as Mat Chinchang, Setul, Singa, Chuping, and the igneous rock of Gunung Raya. So you might have already recognized 2 names from the story that I just told you. So there was Mat Chinchang or Mat Chinchang and Gunung Raya or Mat Raya. If you've been paying attention to my videos, you would know that this story falls under the category of geomythical stories. Stories which explain the connection between the changing landscape and local myths. I've talked about geomythology in a previous episode, the one on the origin of Akinabalu. So if you want to have a look at that, I'll put a link down below. To recap, in geology, the explanation of the connection between landscape, active and natural phenomena, which includes such things as earthquakes, floods and volcanoes, and local myths and legends are known as geomythology. And that is from geologist called Vitaliano from 2007. She coined this term. So geomythology has the potential to sort of encourage authorities of the need to protect these natural landscapes and increase local appreciation for these sites. It may even lead to better conservation efforts, especially in the tourism industry, which is a main source of income for the people of Langkawi. So geomythology is somewhat important. It's a way of encouraging people to appreciate their own culture, their own landscape, and in terms of tourism, it's a way to get the tourist dollars in. So I think geomythology is quite an important element which local authorities should consider. Now, examples of these stories include the one I've just told you, the story of Mak Chinchang and Mak Raya, and stories like Pulau Dayang Bunting, which is the Lake of the Pregnant Maiden, which is a story that I will be telling you next week. Another story that falls under this category of geomythology in Langkawi is a story of Gua Cerita. Gua means cave, Cerita means stories, so it's literally the cave of stories. I'm going to save that story for a later date because that one's quite cool, it's quite interesting. Now don't worry, this is not going to be a geological lesson because this is not my area, this is not my field. I struggled to kind of like make sense of what I found here. And I hope that what I found and how I'm presenting it to you is correct. If not, please do correct me. Basically, Langkawi has a diversity of rock formations. So it's made out of different types of rock, and it consists of 4 sedimentary rocks and 1 igneous rock which emerged during the Triassic period and have since reacted differently to water and sea levels on the island. So because there are 5 different types of rocks, and due to the weathering effect and the effect of water and sea levels, it has produced different types of geological landscape on the island. And the result is the visually outstanding landscape which you see on Langkawi today. That's why it's such a beautiful place to go. The Chinchang Formation is said to be one of the oldest rocks in Southeast Asia. It is 550 million years old. So this formation has been exposed to a series of tectonic events such as folding and faults. And as a result, it has produced a landscape which has a series of low and high steeps, a cone-like shape, and elongated mountains. Basically, the landscape here looks as if it's been chopped up and beaten up and sliced up and has inspired the myth of the fight between the 2 giants, Mak Chinchang and Mak Raya. The peak of Mak Chinchang is part of the Mak Chinchang Cambrian Geoforest Park Geotrail, and it's a main tourist attraction with a 360-degree viewpoint that can be accessed via the world's steepest cable car. Have a look. It is simply stunning. I've been lucky enough to go to some beautiful places in my life, but this has to be one of the most scenic and stunning views I've ever seen. Gunung Mak Chinchang, Gunung Raya, and Bukit Sawar are the most prominent peaks on the island. Gunung Mak Chinchang is older and therefore has been subjected to more movements such as the folds and faults, which has broken the rocks into cubicle-like shapes. The rock formation and movements together with the effect of the weather has resulted in the sliced-like mountain ranges of Gunung Mak Chinchang and the symmetrical mountain form of Gunung Raya. Okay, stay with me now. This is going to blow your mind, okay? So this fold and fault movement were caused by tectonic movements in the earth. And when this happens, it causes rocks to be crushed to pieces. And on this island, this looks exactly like pieces of a broken pot. And the best place to see this in Langkawi is a site called Belanga Pecah, which literally means broken pot. I love it. This is geomythology in action. There's more. So the fault lines lie deep under the earth, and when water seeps there, it tends to get hot. Where this water resurfaces is a place called Ayer Hangat, which literally means hot water. It's a hot spring. In addition, the falls also leave numerous patterns on the rock, and in the case of Langkawi, the symmetrical fold is like the shank of a well-formed ring at Tanjung Cincin. The names of these places reflect the actual folktale that I've just told you. So the fight between the giants caused havoc on the mountains of Langkawi. The soaked rice, broken pots, spilt gravy, boiled water, and even the wedding ring was scattered throughout the island. The fight also apparently scared off some animals, including a lion. Translated in Malay, a lion is a Singa, although there are no lions in Malaysia, so I don't know where that came from. A snake was also scared off. In Malay, a snake is Ular, and a water buffalo. All the items and animals were preserved in the names of places on the island, such as Tanjung Cincin, which means ring headland, Belanga Pecah, which means broken pot, Ayer Hangat, hot water, Pulau Singa, Lion Island, Pulau Ular, Snake Island, and Kubang Darat and Kubang Laut, which represents the place where water buffaloes wallow. Let's talk about Gunung Raya. I also had a chance to go up Gunung Raya. We drove up there. We didn't walk. So Gunung Raya is the tallest peak on Langkawi Island with amazing views. However, we were a bit surprised because when we got up there, we found like a very creepy abandoned hotel. It was so creepy. It made my bulu roma go up, and I just literally, let's get out of here. Apparently the locals say that this abandoned hotel is haunted. There's even a story about a tourist who wandered up there, and I think his kid wanted to use the restroom, and they asked the security guard there if they could, so the guard showed them the bathroom and then they left. But later on he found out that there's no security guard there, so yeah, it's creepy. Be warned, if you go up there, don't go into the hotel, okay? Just enjoy the view and then go back down. So what do you think of this story? I love it. I love it. I love it. It's one of my favorite stories. Actually, when I first heard this story, I thought, oh, this is quite a cool story because it seeks to explain the names of the places. I didn't know that it was so tied to the geology of the island, the rocks of the island. So once I found that out, it's blew my mind. I hope you enjoyed the story. Let me know your thoughts in the comment below. If you like this video and my other videos, please do like and subscribe to my channel. Please, please, please share this channel with your friends, your family, anyone who's interested in fairy tales and stories and history and things like that. Please support me in my mission to get these stories out there, to make them move and adapt once more. Now, don't go just yet. If you're interested in learning more about geomythology, check out my episode on the origin of Akinabalu. I'll put a link above and below. And if you want to hear the story of Masuri, which I did last week, check out episode 18 here as well. I'll see you next week for the last in this trilogy of Langkawi stories. And next week I will be telling you the story of the Lake of the Pregnant Maiden. I'll see you then.